Hey, welcome into the show, everyone. I'm your host, Robbie. This is the Unhinged Father podcast. Hope everyone is having a fantastic year. We are almost to the end of it. Hope you're having a fantastic holiday season, good Christmas season, all that stuff. As you can see, with my hands disappearing if I move too quickly with this newfound technology. I've got a nice background of a Christmas tree right here and a nice little sitting chair right here, which is not actually there. That's just virtual reality for you. But hope everyone's doing well. Wanted to get an episode out. I decided that I was going to continue doing the podcast at my own speed and when I have time to do it. We've been very busy. We've got our third kid on the way, and January is the due date, late January. So we're just trying to wrap stuff up. Christmas, birthdays, getting ready for the baby. We moved. There's a bunch of shit that we did, and I'm all over the place. I've got this background set up right now, this nice Christmas background set up, so you don't see the piles of books and boxes and the fucking line of ants that have somehow found their way into my office. But I just wanted to come on here and do a little bit of a check-in and also just a little bit of a reset on what I have been thinking about lately and what I would like for the podcast to be a little bit moving forward. And I sat down and wrote out some of the things that were really important to me and things that I think I need to focus on in my life. Because I have found that even though I'm doing a lot better than I have in the past, mentally, physically, all of the other things that go along with it, there's a lot of distraction. It's easy for me to get distracted. It's easy for me to let obstacles get in my way and for me to not do the things that are truly going to enrich my life and make my life better. And so I wanted to just touch upon some of this reset that I'm planning on doing in the new year with the new kid coming. And maybe this is something that we all can do, is kind of take a little time to reflect during this Christmas season and go from there. So I just sat down and went through what are the things in my life that are important to me. What are the things that contribute to me being a happy, healthy individual? What are the things that I want my life to look like? And then what are some of the things that don't necessarily contribute to my life, but take up time, space, energy, all of those things. So let me grab my book here real quick. I'm definitely not prepared. I'm trying to get this in as quickly as possible before my son comes home. But I went through, and this is the list of things that I went through and that I decided are going to be top priority for me in this upcoming year. And this is not like super detailed. It's just like me. It was a brain dump for me. And so for me, it was health, family, friends, spirituality, mental, business, creative, home, character, legacy, and sports. So I'm just going to take a real brief minute for each one of them to dive in. This is going to be a shorter episode. I've got a lot of cleaning, baking, Christmas gifts to wrap, a lot of other shit that I need to do. But the number one on there was health, right? And I've been on this health, I hate the fucking term health journey. I've been on this health journey. I've been trying to lose weight, been trying to not be a fat ass for, 2 years now. And I'm down. I'm up a little bit right now, running at kind of like a couple pounds above what my all-time low is in the last 10 years. But I'm down about 30 to 40 pounds from where I was 2 years ago. A lot of belts, loop sizes, and I'm just generally a lot healthier, stronger, and in better shape than I was before. And so the things that I want to focus on this year is just, health is very important to me. And especially with a third kid on the way, I've got to be able to do all the things that a dad needs to be able to do. I want to be the superhero for my dad. We've talked about it before, how I don't want my health or my strength or my endurance to ever be something that is a deterrent in what I do with my children. So strength, losing weight, feeling good, looking good, liking how I look as well. A lot of these things are what I'm going to be focusing on here in this new year. And that being said, family, obviously this whole podcast, everything I do revolves around my family. That's the season of life that I'm in. I'm got 2 young kids, third one on the way. I'm going to be a dad for the remainder of my life. And for me, I want to make sure that I'm focusing on being a good husband, being a good father, being a good brother, being a good son, making sure that I'm fostering these relationships and actively working on them as opposed to letting these relationships passively happen to me. I want to be an active participant in all of these relationships. And if they're ones that I don't necessarily want to push forward or think that they're worth the time, like spend the time where I think it's going to matter most. Same with friendship, right? I've been pretty reclusive. I moved away from where I was from, my hometown, and also where I went to college. And I moved to an area where I don't have a ton of friends from those earlier times. We talked about it before. It's really hard to make friends when you're an adult, especially when you're an awkward fuck like me. So this year, I'm trying to be actively working towards creating a friend group. And even if it's not creating the same friend group that I've had before, like this super tight bond, just little things. If we get an invite from a neighbor to come over and, play date or for a party, making the effort to go out and do it. Now, it's been a little hard. My wife is very pregnant and we have the 2 kids, so it's hard to go and commit to a lot of things right now. But I have been trying to do little things here and there, build up friendships with some of my kids' friends' parents. And this is just something that I want to focus on, as well as reconnecting with people that I maybe have lost connection with, people that were my friends growing up, high school, college. And it doesn't mean that we get back to where we were before, but just putting effort into calling them, seeing how they're doing, checking in on how their life's going, and trying to remain for the people that I deem that I want to, right? It's not like every single person that I was friends with, I'm going to like try to be besties with again, but more so just focusing on the people that I think would be beneficial in my life and in my family's life. In terms of spirituality, this is kind of I mean, I went to Catholic school my entire life, essentially, until I went to college. And me and my wife have been going back to church for the last 5, 6 years. And now that we have kids, we take our kids to church on the weekends. And spirituality has been something that has been a struggle for me in some aspects, not in terms of like well, in the faith as well. I mean, this is a very secular world that we live in now, and I'm someone who is relatively intelligent, and it can be difficult having conversations with people who come from this purely academic, secular world who look at your faith and think like, oh, you must be a dumbass to believe in that kind of stuff. For me, one of the things that I've noticed, I read a lot of self-help books and secular books that really say a lot of the same things that like the Bible would say or that Jesus would say or things like that. It's just not framed in the context of religion or spirituality. So for me, I think getting more involved in my church, reading more, learning more, and then also just trying to build more on my faith, not as one of those obnoxious evangelizers going out there and to, convert all of you godless heathens, but just as for my own personal beliefs and my own faith and for my family, I think that that's something that I really want to focus on this year. Mental, that's obviously, I mean, I am mental. I'm a mental case sometimes, but this isn't necessarily just like mental health. This is also like reading, learning how to process my emotions and learning how to have these relationships with my kids, with my wife, and just constantly learning and then also reflecting on my own mental state and ensuring that I don't fall into the trap of mental illness or depression, anxiety, envy, a lot of the other things that come along with mental illness. So that's the mental. Business. I've been working really hard to try and continue to maintain, actually to grow it at my work again. It's been a couple of years. I've been stagnant in my career a little bit, and I'm trying to push to do better in that career, but also open up other opportunities for me to contribute to my family in a meaningful way when it comes to financially. In our household, it's a little bit different. We decided that my wife would go to graduate school. We spent a shit ton of money for her to go to graduate school and for her to have a good career. She has a great job right now, but it does put a lot of that responsibility of caring for the kids, being the Uber driver, being the dinner maker, all cleaning shit up, all of that stuff that really falls on my plate. And so I think that being able to focus on how I can contribute financially and in a business mindset is something that I'm looking at this year as well. Creative, podcasting. I think that I want to continue to podcast. I do like getting on here and chatting with everyone and getting these ideas out of my head and letting there be kind of this free form discussion, even though I'm just sitting here and talking to myself. I want to continue doing that. Now, one of the things that I don't want to do is I do not want to get caught up in the noise. Last year, I was more focused on like, I got to find clips for Instagram and I got to fucking, make sure I find shit that's controversial so people will listen. I don't care about that. I was not in a good space being in the social media world. I'm going to let this application make clips for me. I'm going to post them, and I'm probably just going to schedule it like once a week, have them all go out there. And if people listen, that's great. And if not, at least I have this opportunity to express what it is that I'm feeling. The home kind of, we just moved, we sold our home, we're renting now, and we had to do it in it was like a shotgun move. We had a week to get all of our shit out of our house. We've accumulated a lot of shit over the years. And so our new house, we've been here for a couple months and we still don't have everything unpacked yet. We don't have everything set up for the baby. And for me, it's been really difficult with all of the different ways that I'm getting pushed and pulled in different directions. Just coming up with a system and sticking to that system and trying to make it easier to automate stuff. And when I say automate, not have the robots do the shit for me, but automate it to where I am able to follow a program and keep the house relatively clean, tidy. I know that we have young kids, it's going to get messy versus disgustingly dirty are two different things. So I'm looking for a way to make our home feel like a home, to get it unpacked, to feel cozy in the home, but at the same time, find a way to just follow a program to keep the house running as smoothly as possible. Now, character is one that I think I've got a pretty good character. I may be a little biased in that, but a few things that I was thinking about are just keeping promises and being the man that I know that I can be, the man that I think that I am. Sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect in that. Sometimes I don't always follow through with everything that I say that I'm going to do. Part of that is having ADHD. Part of that is overcommitting myself and not being able to say that I'm not capable of doing everything because I want to be able to do everything for everyone. So I think this year, just really putting a focus on keeping those promises, especially to my family and the ones that I care about, and pushing to be this whole thing is really just trying to be the man that I know that I can be. Sports we'll throw in there with health. That was, I like to do physical stuff. I played rugby, I played football, I wrestled. I think that would be fun and stimulating for me to get into a sport like jiu-jitsu or something like that. So that's on the back burner. It costs money and it's kind of difficult to do, but hopefully maybe towards the end of the year, we'll have some flexibility to do that. And the last thing is just leaving a legacy. I've been really thinking about this one a lot more, especially having conversations with with my brother and other family members, and the stressors of life, they continue to pile up. There's always more things to pay for. Life gets more expensive. You make more money, you spend more money, and you want to give your kids the best life. But I really have been thinking about we moved to a smaller house, and there are sure there's certain things that my kids don't really like about that, but they're still having a great time. They're still playing with each other. They're outside running around, and a lot of times this stuff in our lives becomes noise and it distracts us from what's really important. You can spend your whole life chasing a better life for your kids, trying to make a better life for your kids, and miss their lives, miss your life with them, miss that time that you have with them. All of a sudden, they're grown up and you're still not where you want to be. You're never going to truly be where you want to be. There's always more money to make. There's always more shit to buy. There's always more stability to be had, and you're never going to achieve it. You're never going to get where you want to be. So I think sometimes we need to slow down and appreciate and be grateful for the time that we have and really cherish that time. So leaving a legacy with my family and friends, I think of it like, who's going to come to my wedding or my wedding? I'm already married. Who's going to come to my funeral? Who's going to come to my funeral? How many people are going to be there? What are they going to say about me? And who's going to remember the things that I did and the person that I was? Are my kids going to tell their kids? Are their kids going to tell their kids? How far is that legacy going to go? And in trying to be the person that they remember. So that's what I'm focusing on. I don't really have anything else for this episode. I just wanted to get this small one out there. This is just kind of like a reset. These are the things I'm going to be focusing on. And a lot of the episodes I'm going to be doing will probably be focusing on this. But I hope that everyone has a fantastic rest of the day, a great rest of the week, great rest of the year. Merry Christmas to all of you. I doubt that there will be another episode posted before the new year, but have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and blessings on all of you. See y'all. Have a good one.